Hello guys, gals and gamers, and welcome back to another video. And I'm happy to say this is still one of the only channels on YouTube where we use absolutely no artificial intelligence to make our videos. In fact, in the making of this video, I've used 100% genuine stupidity. In the recent years, Nintendo has had this plan of expanding its IP beyond gaming. And that's why you have been seeing such things as Nintendo theme parks, Nintendo Lego sets, and what I wanted to discuss a bit more in this video is Nintendo movies. And Nintendo making movies is actually quite significant because the last time they tried to make a movie based on one of their most popular IPs, even at the time, the Super Mario Brothers movie, that movie came out so bad that Nintendo just gave up on a whole medium for a couple of decades. So, yikes. And now Nintendo has made a very financially successful Mario movie, and of course that will get its own sequel and maybe some spin-offs. And then we also got the reveal that they are making a live-action Legend of Zelda movie. But that got me thinking. Okay, let's say the Zelda movie comes out, it's a success, like the Mario movie, maybe not as much, we'll see. But what's gonna happen after that? Of course we're gonna see sequels and spin-offs to blah blah blah, everything, but Nintendo has plenty of franchises. They are the king of franchises. They have basically more franchises than Disney at this point. So, what franchise of Nintendo should they try to make into a movie after the Zelda movie? That's the question I want to answer in this video. And I think I found the perfect one. But first, let's go through a few other franchises that I feel like are good, but not good enough for the next thing. Now that we have had basically Nintendo's top 3 franchises already covered, we've had a Mario movie, we are getting a Zelda movie, and we also had Detective Pikachu, which I think is getting a sequel, but I'm not gonna talk too much about, Pokemon, because it's technically not a Nintendo franchise while technically being a Nintendo franchise. So it counts, I guess. But for the next thing, they should, I would hope, try out something a bit riskier, because we've already done the top 3. And they are on a whole nother level compared to everything else. So the next thing, if they would do another franchise, it would have to be a bit riskier. So what is that? Well, it can't be anything too risky. Something like Fire Emblem, which is popular. It's not, oh my god, it's huge popular. You don't see Fire Emblem merchandise everywhere if you go out in town to a comic book store or a game store. So maybe something a little bit more recognizable, has had impact. How about Metroid? I think Metroid could be good. Well, or not, because while Metroid is kind of popular, it's not huge popular. And the impact that Metroid had on popular culture was back when it first released, I would say mostly. There's been, successors afterwards, Super Metroid, Metroid Prime series, but for the past 20 years, Metroid hasn't been it for Nintendo. And things could change, of course. Metroid Prime 4 is coming out, people have been very excited for it, and it could go on to be a very, very successful game. So, if Metroid Prime 4 does well, maybe it could be a good incentive for Nintendo to start expanding the IP even further. But for now, I would say no to Metroid, unfortunately. But what about something like Animal Crossing? Animal Crossing is kid-friendly, just like Mario was. Animal Crossing is way, way bigger when it comes to popular culture. I mean, the game exploded in popularity in 2020. Could Animal Crossing work? Well, The problem with Animal Crossing for me is kind of the lack of narrative there. Like, I know Mario doesn't have much narrative to go on, but there is the spin-offs and the RPGs, but the mainline Mario games are fairly simple when it comes to the narrative as well, and so is Animal Crossing. But what is missing from Animal Crossing is kind of just conflict. And I know that Animal Crossing has had a movie before in the 2000s or something. Nintendo had made an animated Animal Crossing movie. But an interesting thing about that is I don't think it ever came outside of Japan. You can find it, fan subtitles and everything. You can go and watch the movie somewhere. But it's not like it has ever been dubbed into English or there's ever been official subtitles for it. And I think that's because of like Western audience kind of want that conflict. They can't deal with slice of life that much, aside from Ghibli, but still that is a very rare exception to it. And Ghibli fans, they know what they're getting. But mainstream audiences going to see an Animal Crossing movie that doesn't really have any conflict. I'm not sure if it would do that well, but that's kind of what Animal Crossing is about. So I'm not saying it couldn't be animated. What I'm saying is I wouldn't want an animated movie. I think something like Animal Crossing would be better as a TV show. Something that you would tune into now and again, and I think it would just make you feel good. That's kind of what Animal Crossing is about. And after seeing the popularity of shows like Pokemon Concierge, which just released like a few episodes on Netflix and everyone was immediately like, please give us more of this, I think there could be more room for Animal Crossing as well to do something similar, hopefully with an extra cute art style as well. That would be nice to see. What would be a good franchise then? Well, I think the perfect franchise for Nintendo to go with for the next movie is Kirby. I think Kirby is perfect, and I think Kirby ticks out all of the boxes that Nintendo would be looking for in their franchises to make a movie out of. The basis of Kirby is that it's just a really somewhat popular, long-running series for them. It has been around for more than 30 years at this point. And an interesting thing about that is that those games have been consistently doing good financially. I mean, the game sales have been fine. Like, the latest one, I think it was one of the most successful Kirby games ever, was Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which sold 7 million copies, which is quite good, pretty good. Nowhere near like Animal Crossing, Zelda, Mario level, but still pretty good. But that's not where Kirby matters the most, because where Kirby matters the most is that it also makes Nintendo a ton of money with merchandising. Go to your local game store or your local Hot Topic or wherever you could see some sort of game merchandise in, and you probably see Kirby in there. You don't see Pikmin, you don't see Metroid, well, maybe Metroid, but you don't see Fire Emblem, you don't see Xenoblade, you don't see Splatoon that much, but you might see Kirby. And that's because Kirby sells a lot of merchandise. Plushies, you have cute decorative figures, like I think I have one right here. It's really cute. Kirby is really cute. And that's kind of the power of Kirby. It sells by being cute. And there is more to Kirby as well. Kirby has his own cafe in Japan, the Kirby Cafe. Really adorable. I want to visit it someday. But do you know what other Nintendo franchises have like their own restaurants or shops? Well, there's Pokemon, of course. Pokemon is the biggest brand in the world. There's also a few Mario stores, but those are mainly in the theme parks. And there's like general Nintendo stores that sell everything Nintendo. But Kirby specifically, getting his own store, own shop, own restaurant thing, that's pretty good for a franchise. And the thing about the Kirby Cafe is that Nintendo planned it just to be like a temporary thing, We'll try it out, see if it, to celebrate I think it was like an anniversary of Kirby. And then they realized like, hey, this is actually making us a ton of money. So they just stuck with it and it's there for good. Kirby Cafe, go to Japan, visit there. It's adorable. So, Kirby has that power. Kirby is the king of cute. And what also makes Kirby especially cute is like the characters. They're wonderful. You have Kirby, the main character, being like childlike but immensely powerful. You have the DDDs, which just are loyal soldiers of King DDD, which is a whole personality of himself. And then there's the mysterious and edgy Meta Knight. You have a good cast of characters there, and they are very marketable. And the popularity of like cutesy stuff is especially important in like Asian market, but not so much in Western though. Yeah, Westerns don't have the whole idea of like kawaii being cute, and a lot of the Kirby merchandise in the West, if it's not imported from Japan, is kind of just bleh. But that's just how merchandising in Western countries goes, in my opinion. So cute isn't appealing to everyone. That could be a problem. I don't see a lot of like 14-year-old boys who just want to try and be edgy begging their parents to go and see Kirby. But it doesn't have to be for everyone. And I think after a probably a more serious live action Zelda movie, Kirby could work as a good, palate cleanser. And luckily, Kirby's not all cute. It's not 100% just cute moments because, as I said, there is conflict in there, and Kirby, he fights. There is a reason why Kirby in the North American box arts has kind of like an angry, pissed off face. And that there's also like an ongoing meme of in the fandom that all Kirby games start out with like Kirby getting accidentally woken up from his nap and getting his cake stolen, and then ends with Kirby fighting like an eldritch god of horror and torture and winning. So I think that would be really fun to see on the big screen. Start off all cutesy and stuff, but have those action moments there as well. I think that could appeal to a lot of people. And speaking of stories, Kirby has already proven successful in stories. It has an animated TV show called Kirby Right Back at Ya, and that ran for 100 episodes, which is, pretty good. And of course, you can get some source material from there. So I would assume, like, the plot of the Kirby movie would be something like Kirby is the store warrior. He crash lands on planet Popstar. King DDD is not happy about it and gets jealous of Kirby, unleashing some horrendous beast on the world, and then they have to team up together to fight the monster in the end. Very basic story, but with these strong characters, with this cute world, with Kirby, I think it could easily do it. I think it could be a wonderful movie. And another important thing about Kirby is like I said, it's not the biggest franchise, but it has already a lot of appeal to people. So there's definitely like room to grow with Kirby. And like I said in the beginning, Nintendo wants to expand their IPs. You can do a little expanding with Mario, Thank you for reminding that Mario exists, almost forgot Nintendo. But the kinds of franchises that could really expand from these movies are the ones that are kind of successful but haven't had their big push yet. And Kirby, I feel like this could be the push that the franchise needs to truly be global, truly pass like the 10 million copies sold barrier that Kirby and the Forgotten Land, well, it got closer, but it's not there yet. But with a push of a really fun and cutesy movie, I think it could easily just go there. Easily. No questions asked. And Kirby would really benefit from a movie. The franchise would, go into its golden age. And Nintendo would benefit from having an IP they've had for 30 years really push through the mainstream consciousness and people being like, yeah, I really like Kirby. So yeah, What do you think about Nintendo movies? Do you think Kirby is also a good movie to go with next after Zelda? Let me know in the comments below and I will maybe answer them if I feel like looking at YouTube. So let me know, and also if you like this video, please like and subscribe, because those are the YouTube things that you have to do to stay updated on videos that I make. Hopefully that's clear. But I have nothing else to say here, so I'll just see you guys next time. Bye bye.